The member from Welland.
The question is to the Premier. Recently, we learned that the Ontario Energy Board approved an application from Enbridge Inc. for a 40% increase to natural gas rates. Then we heard that the OEB refused a request from the Consumers' Council of Canada and from the Vulnerable Energies Consumer Coalition for a special session to review the impact of Enbridge's planned rate hike. Even the OEB staff said the request was entirely in order. Why is the OEB refusing to hear from the consumers, and why were they so quick to grant this drastic increase in gas rate hikes?
Minister of Energy.
Minister of Energy. Mr. Speaker, consumer groups who intervened in the process, Vulnerable Energy Consumers Coalition and Consumers' Council of Canada, submitted that the board should consider approving the rates on an interim basis and allow more consideration for smoothing out over time, which is exactly what the OEB has done.
Thank you. Supplementary.
Well, Speaker, my question is not about the smoothing. It's about the initial increase. My office has heard from many constituents, and they're worried about their future. With hydro rates set to increase by 45% and unemployment rates in my riding the highest in the province, constituents are feeling squeezed. Jim Lemotang from Welland wrote to my office on March 30th to describe the impact of rising costs on families. I quote, "The elderly couple that lives beside me are on a tight budget. They did not want to turn their heat up this winter due to the fact they couldn't afford it. They were bundled up with their jackets inside their home all winter." Did the OEB consider these families when they decided to approve a 40% rate hike without asking Enbridge the hard questions to determine whether or not the rate was even justified?
Minister of Energy.
Mr. Speaker, I've heard the members from the third party on occasion raise the question of Enbridge's gas increases and other issues with respect to energy pricing, Mr. Speaker, but I have not heard them offer any solutions. I would like to know what solution you're offering. The implication, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, that we should interfere with the proceedings at the Ontario Energy Board, which would be totally, absolutely illegal and irregular, Mr. Speaker, in order to do that. Mr. Speaker, the Ontario Energy Board's mandate is to look after the interests of the consumer. That's one of its main mandates, Mr. Speaker. It examines the issues, it rules on them, and it gives rational reasons for the decisions. One of the rational reasons, Mr. Speaker, is that year over year, energy consumption has gone up by between 15 and 20% because of